Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Sylvester here once again, and I'm Chip here. We are back for the Maxi Toys. Welcome back to more Let's Play of New Super Mario Bros. U for the Nintendo Wii U. So last time that we actually did done the first half of Rock Candy Mines, and today for this episode we're about to be hopefully finishing up with Rock Candy Mines. So here we go with Rock Candy Mines -6, Thrilling Spine Coaster is the level that... You remember how in New Super Mario Bros. Wii that if you actually get yourself a secret exit in level 8-2, that this level's sort of similar to how it does it in level 8-7, but except rather than takes place in the lava hellish level, instead it was actually takes place in the underground caverns alongside with the poisonous water that we have to not to touch, because again, if you touch that, you instantly die. So just be very cautious and be careful though. So especially don't jump off of the spine coaster. So even then though, that's what this level's gimmick is about. Now as far as the star coin locations are concerned, they're pretty easy to spot, but the last one you need to actually have yourselves a specific power-up in order to actually get yourselves the third and final star coin once you do so. So we'll explain more to that as soon as we actually come across into it. So for now, we just need to let this spine coaster go slowly up to the top, and then grab ourselves a Starman, because we need to use our Starman for the specific third and final star coin we need to actually grab. So even then though, we'll save this up until later. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump from platform to platform. Ah, no, darn it. We actually missed the star coin. God darn it. Oh well, we'll come back for that as soon as we actually finish this level first. Or even sacrifice ourselves. So yes, you need to use a Starman for the third and final star coin, is because, well, you'll see why in just a second. Because if you grab the Starman as soon as when it goes like bounce down, and especially if you want to grab it like sooner than that, because basically the third and final star coin location was, even though despite the fact that we actually missed out on the second star coin, but there's the third and final star coin just right down there. So just be sure that you have to use a Starman at all times in this level. So yeah, I'll just warn you right now, but I'm sure many people already know this at this point because they already experienced this level already, especially with 100% completionist. So yeah, pretty simple to actually just to get those star coins out of the way. Alright, so that does it for that, and we complete the stage without taking any damage. Well, despite the fact there are some bats in this level, so even then though, these guys not much of a threat though. So we're gonna meet you guys back into where the second star coin is, so we'll meet you guys back where, even though we accidentally just missed that. So yeah, we'll meet you guys at that one point, so yeah, we'll get to that. Alright, here we are in this bit right here, because you can tell that, by the way, we're actually doing a wrong timing method. You're actually supposed to do it is that when you actually come across into the 4 of those coins, as you can see right now, jump for it. So even then though, that's how you're supposed to get it. So, yeah, that's how that works. Alright, we're back, and somehow we gotta have a Nabbit catch for right now, and he's actually located in rock walking piranha plants right now. So, as usual, we're going to be using let's use our second PA coin as alongside with the Superstar, or in this case Starman, because it might be pretty tricky for the most part. Especially with every now and then that we actually going to come across into the bottomless pits now. So let's just go say that right now. So, let's get started. In fact, are there any, although we can be trying to intentionally do this level with a PA coin without a Starman, because even then though, when you start the level up, that we're actually gonna have to jump from these balancing rock things, and then if you actually balance from the far left or far right, that way it will actually just let the rock go tilt. So, yeah. And we got ourselves a 6th PA coin, even though we actually got 4 of them right now in our inventory. Alright, Rock Candy Mines Tower 2, which I believe it's called Screw Top Tower. So, as far as this level's gimmick's concerned, we need to use the spin tops, or in this case, screw tops. Even though we already encountered one of those before in, during Layer Cake Desert Tower. Now, the reason why we're saying as we mentioned this earlier throughout this world, is that, this world actually contains 2 tower levels. So, that's the reason why we decided to call this level Rock Candy Mines Tower 2, because it's pretty much exactly similar, But as I think we already noticed right now, is the fact that we don't actually face off against with Boom Boom again this time around, because this was, again, this was actually the last time, or the final time to actually face off against with Boom Boom to begin with, so, yeah. Right off the bat though, first star coin is right there, with those bunch of bone beetles right there. So yeah, it's not much to discuss. And we need to actually create those, blocks as the, in this case, the visible blocks as platforms. So if you actually just, let those, you know, visible blocks, appeared, then by all means go for it. Ah, dang it. Anyway though, so the main premise also for this level though is that we have a crap ton of gimmicks, not to mention what the screw types you have to deal with. And also a bunch of enemies, like the returning enemies from Super Mario World is back, like the Sumo Bros. Basically, if you remember Sumo Bros from Super Mario World, these guys are back. So even then though, if one of the Sumo Bros actually did a stomp, or a foot stomp, that way it will actually try to create electricity, such as like this. So even then though, if you touch the electricity, you'll lose a temporarily power up, so just be very careful. I'm just a little bit too risky right there. Especially when we don't want to die like just once again, unlike how it does it in you know, Soda Jungle and stuff like that, and especially the noticeable in Sparkling Waters and Layer Cake Desert, and not to mention the Acorn Plains, the very first start of the very first world in the entire game, as a matter of fact. But let's just hope we, God forbid, we're not gonna die just once this time. At least we're hoping we won't. Alright, so another worth knowing for this level's gimmick is the fact that I'm pretty sure that you notice these little solid platforms there, if you can tell, with the, you know, the red and white little colored platforms. These you can actually use that to your advantage to actually get rid of the enemies, kind of like how it does it for the question mark blocks in Super Mario World. The world in a funky level, yeah, one of the last special worlds in Super Mario World. That in order to actually get rid of the Sumo Bros, you need to actually just knock him when you actually go underneath the specific platforms, like the red and white platforms. And speaking of Sumo Bro, here's where the different fight actually comes in. The giant Sumo Bro fight. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, that in order to actually just knock him out, by simply you just gotta have to... Ah, shoot. He can be quite tricky though, especially whenever we actually did some... Ah, shoot. He got back up really quickly. Compared to how it does it for, even though that his weakness was actually you're gonna have to like knock him onto the, you know, the platform, as you can see in this footage. But even then though, in order to actually kill him is by basically this usual stomp on him. It might be a bit easy at first, but it can be quite tricky and difficult sometimes, because normally he can, like, even though in the third and final hit that we actually did saw, that he actually got up really quickly than we expected. So, oh crap, we are almost gonna die. Come on, we almost done. Come on, there we go. That's more like it. But even then, though, he's not that much of a threat. It's kind of tricky sometimes, I must admit, though. So, anyway. So, yeah, that concludes Rock Candy Mines Tower 2, which I like to call it that. But anyway. And we have no longer going to actually, although we're almost done with Rock Candy Mines now, so, and also we're almost there to Roy Cooper himself, which that's what this world's Koopaline was. Because it's weird that how, we're actually going to be, like, we usually fight Roy at the, almost nearly the end, but also does it for New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. 2, you fight him really early throughout the game, or the very first of the game. Alright, Rock Candy Mines -7, shifting, what's it called? Shifting Floor Cave. If I remember rightly though, is that, although the first two star coins aren't that bad to deal with, but the last one you have to use the specific, enemy in order to actually get it, so we'll just have to, we'll explain more to those until we actually get to it. So yeah, what this level's gimmick is basically the shifting platforms will actually go up and down or left or right. So yeah, that's how this level works. So you get the suggestion, so yeah, not much to discuss. Alright, so we don't want to get crushed here, because obviously we don't want to crush into these shifting pillars or platforms, whatever you prefer calling it, as well as some occasional enemies like piranha plants. The best method you can actually deal with is, of course, the fire flower, which you can. Ah, shoot! I could just get rid of that one over there, but unfortunately we didn't do that on purpose or anything like that. Ah, shoot! Stupid bats! God, I really hate these bats in this case, in these levels right here. Somewhat similar to how it does it back the bad memories I find for getting the goddamn secret exit in level 6-6 in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. But even then, no, let's forget about that now. But I digress. This was New Super Mario Bros. U after all, and very sure enough. Now I found this game to be supremely easy, I find. But I digress. So, the second star coin, we need to use a Super Mario form in order to do the second star coin, because we need to bust out these brick blocks, and then as soon as we actually continuously go to the right, and booyah, there you go. Now, for third and final star coin, it might be a little bit annoying to deal with, but what I highly recommend it to you is to actually get rid of all of these enemies first before you actually try to deal with this third and final star coin. Like, for instance, piranha plants, bats, because they might actually distract you after when you get hit by the some stuff. Luckily though, you don't have to deal with the this brick piranha plants though, let's just say that much, because they aren't that much of a threat. But the bats, however, and especially one piranha plant, they aren't that much of a threat, or they are pretty much a threat though. So you know. So I really apologize for that little awkward silence going on, because there's not much else we can talk about for today, besides the point that tomorrow, after this video was actually uploaded, we might actually get ourselves some new bunch of stuff we'll be actually trying to get from during tomorrow anyway, which consists of the new games, including one DVD as well, which we'll start with the DVD first. So yeah, one more thing before we actually mention that, though, however, that in order to actually get the third and final star coin, you need to actually grab yourselves a red Koopa shell, and then when you time your tossing just right, then you should be able to grab it, though, and then, even though it's kind of a ridiculous way to actually get ourselves a third and final star coin to begin with, but I digress. But again, though, you seriously definitely recommend you get rid of these enemies along the way, so there you go, that's that. But yeah, you get the idea. So the next level we're actually going to go into is the fact that we need to actually incorporate that One Direction needs to come back together. I don't think that's possible though. But either way though, that's just how it is for me. So the reason why we need to activate the blue switch to begin with, because of the item shop right over there. But I digress. So the next film we're about to be getting ourselves, or during tomorrow anyway, which was Zootropolis, aka Zootopia. I think a lot of people calls it Zootopia because it's more likely a shorter name. But I digress though, so even then though that I actually really love Zootropolis though. I'll probably sugar. We probably could have paid attention to that part right there. But yeah, if you get a Bowser icon, you actually just lose everything. Yeah, which is kind of pointless. Alright, so the next level we're about to be hit into is Rock Candy Mines Castle, Roy's Conveyor Castle. Because as far as this level suggests, that we're actually going to come across into those bunch of conveyor belts. Like, for instance, these. Alongside with those instant death crushing blocks here. I believe these crushing blocks do make a return since New Super Mario Bros. Wii World 4 Castle, or no, not Castle, World 4 Tower, when you actually trying to have a rematch against with, or in this case, just have a match against with Windy-O Koopa back in World 4 and New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but I digress though. Alright, so we need to be very careful right there, because again, if we touch the lava or anything like that, we pretty much gonna have to go ahead and go back all the way to the beginning, which fundamentally, that will be kind of gross or nasty. The second star coin, be quick, because if you don't make it there in time, then you probably ended up missing it, and plus not to mention, if you actually stand onto where the second star coin was, that you instantly get crushed, so just be very careful. So yeah. So anyway though, Now you're probably thinking, where is the third and final star coin, you may ask? Well, apparently though, that if you remember from Super Mario World, you know what the final level in Super Mario World is, that in the Bowser's Castle department, it actually contains front door and a back door, which in the back door it actually takes you immediately into the final boss, an additional checkpoint as well. And then if you go in the front door, you have to go for the long stretch of corridors and stuff like that. Like, you get 4 selection of numbers until you actually proceed. And then in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, that in level 7-Castle, is the fact that once you actually obviously when you get to the actual castle itself, it takes you to the actual level. But then if you actually access to the secret exit in level 7 tower in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, that and if you actually complete yourselves level 7-6, then you actually access to the Beanstalk, which if you run onto the Beanstalk in the World 7 Castle, this will immediately go into the actual Ludwig von Koopa boss fight immediately, completely ignoring the star coins and the level itself in the process too. So, yeah. But as for this level, however, before we actually get into that, here we have ourselves Roy Koopa. He's pretty pathetically easy once you actually get yourselves 3 strikes onto him. But even then, all he does is that even though when the battle begins, that you actually start off with actually just trying to jump into platform to platform stuff, like usually just occasionally moving. But then he actually carry himself a bullet bill cannon, which, yeah, you have to be very careful right there, because even then though, he will just essentially slides our arm back. But even then though, he's pretty pathetically easy though, I will admit though. Alright, so we're completely done with Rock Candy Mines, but we're not entirely completed that world just yet, because in order to actually get yourselves a third and final star coin, you need to go into the back door of the entire level itself, because usually that Roy's Conveyor Castle actually has 2 different segments. Like for one, if you go in the front door, it just takes you to the actual level. If you go in the back door, however, like we did that right there, you probably notice that you actually immediately jump into the back door version of Roy's Conveyor Castle. So all it does, it contains, it's basically just fewer conveyor belts, and then there's also a third and final star coin. Just be very quick though, until you actually don't let the crushing, or in this case a hard solid block, can actually block the star coin itself. And yeah, and then this also takes you to the fastest way to actually get to the to the boss itself already. Just like how it does in level 7-Castle from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So you know. However, you need to actually beat Roy Koopa twice in order to actually get everything though, so I think that's also the same applies to how it does in New Super Luigi U as well. So, yeah. It's a bit of a pain though, but at least it's fun enough as it is. Alright, so, yeah. As far as we actually talk about some certain things, is that, we're actually, getting quite a few things we're going to be going for tomorrow, which are Zootropolis, a new DVD, which came out a while ago, which is about 3 months ago in the UK. And, as well as some bunch of new games like Paper Mario Color Splash, and as well as, The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD, as well as The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. Well, unfortunately, we'll have to talk more into that until in the next video, honestly, because even though the time length is almost running out at the moment, so we'll talk about more into those until we actually get ourselves our games, though. And also fully experience with them. And then when you actually finish for that level, in the backdoor version, you do have the ability to actually go back, and then the path will actually lead you to that way, so pretty handy. And Rock Candy Mines is fully completed, and Roy Koopa has been completely vanquished. Alongside with the 6 worlds have been completely done, and also 6 Koopalings have been down. Moraine Clouds, that's what this cloud level is actually called. The tower level boss this time around though is Kamek, which is quite surprising. And the Koopaling for this particular world is, as usual, Ludwig von Koopa. So we're gonna have to end things off here, so next time we'll let's play New Super Mario Bros. U, is that we're about to begin Moraine Clouds, aka World 7. So see you guys then. Later, fellas.